Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the BBO NYG Podcast, Giant fans. I am Mike. That's Jules. Special guest Vinny is back in the house. We're just talking about John. John's out there when he's sharpening pencils, putting loose leaf together and shit. My man's fucking he's doing homework and shit when he's on the podcast. Right, John?
I don't know. All I know is he's been working till like midnight, like every night during the week. Even when he does come on the podcast, he's still working. That's why he'll just look over and be like, I just want to make a quick comment. Okay, gotta go back to work now.
Double dipping. He's getting that OT money.
He's got that split personality, man. I don't know how he gets. He's like, I don't know how he does it, my guy.
Seriously. So obviously he's a little busy too working today. That's why he won't be on tonight's podcast, in case you were wondering. But John, don't work yourself too hard, buddy. It's only work.
Right, don't kill yourself.
But man, fellas, yo, listen, man, what is a preseason game this Friday? Season's fucking underway. Training camp's been going strong. Here we go, bro. It's the 2023 season about to finally officially kick off. Thoughts, man. What are we looking at? What's going on?
Tell us, Ben.
I gotta tell you, as you all know, I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to the Giants. Always waiting for the shoe to drop on the other foot. But this year, the optimism that's here, that's in me right now, is nice.
Creep it out. Keep it out of your skin. I can see it.
It just shows how much leadership that Shane and I know it's only been a year, but what Shane and Dable have been able to do in 1 year, take this dumpster fire of a fucking franchise and really bring us to the playoffs and win on the road. I don't care who it was against. To go on the road in Minnesota against that star-studded offense and just handle them the way we did, turn me into a believer.
Feels different.
My apologies to Daniel Jones, and I believe that the contract is well deserved. I love the way, I know you're gonna kill me on this one, Trader. I love the way she played Barkley to a fiddle. It's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Everybody looks good, with it. And we could still tag him next year, which I hope. It's kind of shitty if they do, but I hope I hope at that point, whether he hits those incentives, which I doubt he will, or not, at that point, maybe Barkley just says to the organization, trade me. You know what I mean? And they work out. And they have and they part ways amicably. Because I do like Barkley, the player. I don't like the way he was having his temper tantrum, going on that podcast, saying what he was saying, but I was like, you know what? He's only going to play himself. Once he had that Zoom call and Chubb got on there, who's a better running back, I think we could agree on that. Chubb was like, yo, we get used up and we ain't getting paid. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And I think Saquon, I really think I heard Carl Banks made a couple of comments. Carl Banks, a mild-mannered guy, and he called Saquon. He was like, I'm talking to you, with Bob Papa. They had a podcast. And he said, don't be a principled fool. Don't make this personal against the Giants. This is what the running back market is. He's like, you're only going to hurt yourself, your brand. And I think ever since Carl Banks said that, I don't know if it got back to Saquon or they spoke directly. That's how Saquon kind of came in, signed the 1 year deal, which I never even knew was a rule. I thought once the tag wasn't, you know what I mean? No deal was made up by the deadline. I thought it was a wrap. You know what I mean? I never heard of this before. I heard Edgerrin James did it. God knows when.
We can only do 1 year deal on that though, right, Jules? It has 1 year.
It
can't be more.
So
it's on the table.
Guys like Josh Jacobs, the running backs.
It's basically on the table regardless. You know what I'm saying? So that 1 year deal, once they put that official franchise on you, they're only allowed to use it on one player, whether it's offense or defense. And once they decide who that player is, that tag is designated for that player for the rest of the season, basically. So if he wanted to come in week 3, he could take the fucking tag if he wanted to, technically. But obviously, you're going to do that. That's just stupid. He's going to hurt himself. And you might as well go through training and get fucking in shape and be ready to roll.
Yeah. I'm glad they're back. I'm glad everybody's back, though.
Listen,
and a big thing.
Good points from last year.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you brought up a couple of good points from last year. Like, it was funny because I don't know if you guys seen the show Cute Quarterback on Netflix.
I haven't seen
No,
it.
I keep hearing about it though.
I was like one of those days where I just felt like it was kind of yesterday. I just kind of binged through it and shit. And it basically follows fucking Mahomes and
I heard Cousins is
and
good on it,
Mariota and all shit. And one crazy thing that was kind of cool about it was that I never realized how humble of a person Cousins is, and the way his family is, and just the way he goes about things. And he's like this like crazy, like over the top, like fucking like analytic type person, which I never knew. I mean, like when I say over the top, this dude's getting like brain waves and shit like analyzed to focus so he can get his game better and writing plays. And you got to watch it, bro. It's a
What
good
a
watch.
psycho.
And then you
I gotta tell you guys, Jules, it aggravates me that people poo-poo the Giants' victory against Minnesota.
Oh, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they won 13 games. Like, that's a good team. The defense wasn't very good, but they won 13 games. That's hard to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won 13 games. They went in there on the road and they beat that fucking team. Plain and simple. All right. People were posting that team as being a fucking Super Bowl contender. It was supposed to be the Vikings and the fucking Eagles in the NFC Championship game, going to see who's going to go play either fucking Buffalo, Cincinnati, or fucking, Kansas City. Like, literally, that's all people were talking about. And the Giants go in there and knock them off and get zero credit for it. But you know what? That's good. Let's keep it that fucking way, right? And the whole reason why I brought up that show was I started watching it and I started looking at it and I started getting excited. I'm like, first of all, we are kind of getting dissed. You got USA Today. We've been throwing the different fucking media outlets out there that they're picking the Giants to finish last in the NFC East. Cool.
They all hate us.
I don't care. Go ahead and pick my fucking team. You ain't
pick the Jets. Get on the Jets bandwagon.
Meanwhile, everybody's got like the Jets winning the AFC. So it's just fucking outrageous. I went back and I looked at it, and I'm like, Brett, I like Garrett Wilson. He that kid's a stud. He's a star player. They got a good defense. They got Aaron Rodgers. But fucking Alan Lazard is their number 2 wide receiver. Like, who the fuck is that scary? And I think
they hate us because they hate us.
Like, their offense ain't all that, bro.
Let me throw something on there.
Yeah.
I think this is one thing I try to tell Jet fans. Who's their pass rusher other than Quinton Williams up the middle? Who's their defensive ends?
They had that one dude that they got from Cincinnati last year, but he's like that line.
Lawson? I don't know if he's playing that guy's coming off an Achilles injury or whatever. I'm like, who's there? Who the kid that they got from Florida State? I'm trying to figure out who.
And then they pick one. Then they pick one in the first round. Once they got dicked out of that tackle position.
Yeah,
right? They grabbed somebody. It was like a
I think he was a Florida State kid or whatever. But I'm like, he didn't. Jermaine Johnson, I think.
That was last year.
Oh, you're talking about this past year?
Yeah, this past year. Because they were going to go get that tackle, and then New England let Pittsburgh trade, and they jumped the Jets. They grabbed that tackle, and then the Jets panicked, and they just grabbed anybody, and they grabbed like the 7th best pass rusher or whatever it was. Meanwhile, it was still like 3 or 4 of the guys on the board. I don't know. I'll tell you though, but looking at that, it got me excited, right? Because we're all playing each other this year in the state of New York, right? We play Buffalo, we play the Jets. We're getting it on this year, right? Like. We got something to fucking pick. We got Dallas fucking opening week on Sunday night at home. Like,
I think we win that game.
By game. Yo, listen.
I think we win the first game.
That's a game where if we come out, we can make a statement. We don't got to go in there and ball them out. I don't give a shit if we win on the last second field goal. You know what I mean? Like, if we go beat Dallas week 1, that sets the fucking bar.
We've been playing Dallas real tight lately. And I'm like, last year we were so decimated with injuries. Thanksgiving, we had nobody. And we were in that game. I think we were leading at the half. I think we were up. And I was like, damn, like we need a little bit more talent. I think we're ready. We're ready to fuck them up week 1.
And dude, look, here's the thing, right? You were saying about optimism and everything else, right? Like, this is the one you look. I'm not sitting here and trying to say the Giants are going to win double-digit wins. I'm not sitting here trying to say we're going to win the NFC East. We're going to go on to win the fucking NFC. We're going to go to the. I'm not saying any of that bullshit. But to know that we had the type of season we did last year, to see that we made decent improvements with certain positions and draft picks, right? And you're starting to see these guys in camp. They're developing. Look. You can take all the things you want. At first, I was getting a little discouraged when I saw some of the training camp with the offensive line. But then I started thinking about all the highlights that I was seeing where these guys were getting beat or they were getting decimated. It was just a one-on-one drill. That doesn't mean shit. Half the thing, people forget is that the reason why the offensive linemen look a little bit better is because they know the play, right? And when the defense doesn't know the play, they have to hesitate for a second, and that changes the entire game. these fucking plays that you're seeing in camp are just the defense bull rushing. And of course they're gonna blow up the lineman at times and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, JMS got blown up today. Look at this. Like Neil got fucking blown up today. It's because they know the fucking play, dude.
What do you root for though? What are you rooting for? People that are watching those videos complaining or celebrating? Like, what are you rooting for? You rooting for the offensive line? You rooting for the defensive side of the ball? Like, you know what I mean? Practice.
Some people are being fans about it. Some people are being fans about it, and some people are trying to be too analytical about it. You know,
I'm rooting for KT. I don't give a shit.
Did you see the way Andrew Thomas handled his ass?
Oh, he pancaked him. Andrew Thomas is the best player on this team. Andrew Thomas is the best player.
Best player in the NFC.
He is a beast this year. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
He's a beast. He's they kept him off the NFL 100 from NFL.com or whatever.
They hate us because they hate us. They hate us.
Chip on his shoulder, baby. AT is the man. I love Andrew.
Dude, after one season, Jalen Hurts is in the top 10. Like, give me a fucking break. All right, like, give me one season, right? Like, dude, you know, and like these guys. Lamar Jackson won an MVP. He wasn't even in like the top 40. I don't think.
I saw that too.
You know what I mean? Stop. Like, that list is so fucking like just biased. It's ridiculous, dude. It just is. I can't. I mean, I'll look at it, but that's all I do. I just look at it for like entertainment, as if I'm reading the funny pages in the Daily News or something.
I went to training camp for the first time. I did a fan fest last year, but this year, me and my brother Frank, we brought our sons. We went over to training camp. Yo, they did such a great job. It was last Thursday. It was the 5 p.m. Time slot or whatever. We were able to make it. I gotta tell you, the practice looked awesome. They did a lot of like the special team stuff in the beginning, which was kind of boring. It looks like Eric Gray, the rookie running back, he was taking a lot of the punt returns and stuff like that. So it looks like he's gonna be the one that's gonna be returning. Yeah, I don't want a Dory back there. And then they were running drills. Then they started doing the one-on-ones. For that particular practice, looked like the defense was getting the best of the offense. We have some holes. I think this team is not nearly complete. I like what Shane's doing though. He's kind of toeing the line where he needs to toe the line. He's not kicking the can down the road. I'm a little surprised at Leonard Williams and Adoree, I guess because of their age, which I still think Adoree's young. Maybe it's the injury history. I'm surprised that they didn't get extensions just to free up some money, but I guess we'll revisit that next year.
Probably don't need it now.
Yeah.
Were you there? Were you there in the training camp with Hyatt? Has been blowing up training.
No, I made one catch when I was there, and it wasn't.
He makes catches every day, Vin. This dude is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's super fast, and he moves real quick. I don't know. You guys think he starts immediately?
I mean, if he's catching bombs like this,
it's like sharing it on the screen here. Jones, for those watching on YouTube.
I mean, Jones has been on fire. Hyatt's just been like I think me and Jules, I mentioned this how many weeks ago on the podcast, saying Hyatt was my number one wide receiver. I think the Giants starts right out the gate, and the way he's practicing now, he looks like the real deal. Like the speed he gets is just unbelievable.
I'll tell you this: when he's running, it doesn't seem like he's running that fast, but he is though because
that's a great
he's covering
sign.
so much ground. He's covering so much ground by doing it, and it's like, wow, he's up the field already.
I mean, listen, if the reports are coming out and they're true, and he's actually quicker than Tyreek Hill, I mean, bro, like seriously, like that's just ridiculous.
I don't know, seeing it in person,
yeah, right. But for that size to be as fast as Tyreek, when Tyreek's a little guy.
Well, he's not that, that's what everybody keeps thinking. Like Tyreek's not that small. He's not like a Deshaun Jackson. He
looks like a little guy, bro.
He's stocky. He's dieseled up. I will say this: Daniel Jones looks amazing. Daniel Jones is having the best camp of his life. Second year in the offense.
That's what they keep saying.
Vin. I mean, everybody's saying that now, but doesn't it make sense when you actually have 2 years in the same system?
Great. Hopefully they protect him. I hope they protect him. Is it still on?
Let's not forget.
It's big for him. I think it's important. Do you guys remember last year?
What?
I remember last year. Sometimes I don't remember last year.
Run off from last year though.
Wink threw the kitchen sink. Him and Dable threw the kitchen sink at Daniel Jones. They're like, we're not giving him the option. Let's throw everything at him and let him fail. Daniel Jones is one resilient motherfucker. Like, the guy really has, he's kind of like in that Eli school of thought. Nothing's going to bother me. I'm just going to play my game. And, everything was against Daniel Jones last year, including myself. Like, I totally was, like, out on Daniel Jones. I was like, ready to cut the dude.
John would have loved to be on this podcast right now, listen to the way you talk and change your mind.
Oh, yeah. We've gotten into it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We wish more people change their mind and become like, hey, okay, I recognize good ball players right now or good play.
I'm glad we brought this argument up because, like, literally, I get it. You know what? I think this quarterback that I'm going to mention had, like maybe 300 yards or 250 yards more rushing. Okay. And he ended up with, like, I think an extra 3 or 2 total touchdowns, but he also had 1,000 less passing yards. And if you look from a fantasy perspective and you look the way they're pumping up this team, this guy is being fucking drafted as like the 6th or 7th quarterback coming off the board, which I fucking think is ridiculous and absurd. And the quarterback I'm talking of is Justin Fields, okay? And they are hyping this fucking kid up like there's no tomorrow. He's the fucking hype train. And yet I look at his stats, and I look at fucking and I look at Daniel Jones' stats, and I'm like, why? What are they fucking insane? Just because we got a quarterback that rushed for 1,000 yards? First, he didn't have Saquon Barkley in his backfield. He had David Montgomery. So he's going to run the ball a little more. There were so many bad weather games that he endured last season where you couldn't throw the ball more than fucking 10 yards down the field. So, of course, the quarterback's going to take off.
And he got hurt, too, right? Didn't he get hurt?
Dude, he got hurt the first game for like a play or so. They were saying that he didn't really play all the games. And, they're making all the fucking excuses. They're hyping up. They think now because they brought over DJ Moore, J fucking Moore, is AJ Brown. And that Devonta Smith is Chase Claypool and all these other fucking clowns that are over there are just as good, which they're not. You know what I'm trying to say? And also, he feels he's going to have this fucking year that, like, fucking, what's his name had last year, Jalen Hurts. Like, it's a joke, bro. Like, again, nothing for Daniel Jones. Darren Waller, if that guy is healthy, was arguably the top 3 fucking tight end when healthy. Arguably, it was fucking him, Andrews, and Kelsey all the time being tossed around as who's the best fucking tight end in the league this year. And
let me tell you that.
Dude has an injury year, comes back the following year off of injury and doesn't light it up. When you have Devontae Adams and Jacobs going off and having the seasons they did in Vegas with a fucking team that didn't really center their tight end around too much. And David Carr fucking was hitting Hunter Renfrow in the slot more than he was using Waller, a lot more last year. So, like, dude, like, there's just so much of that type of shit that's going on that it just, like, people just pushing it out the window. Hyatt's a one-trick pony, and that's it. He can't run. For the last fucking several seasons, I've been hearing about this Paris Campbell dude. Oh, he's going to be the number 2. He might be the number 1. He's going to take Michael Pittman's job in Indianapolis. And he has the best season of his career where he stayed healthy for almost the entire season, and he put up decent numbers. Now he comes over to the Giants where he could emerge as the number 1, and that's nothing. He sucks.
He's got slot guy.
He's trash. He's garbage. He's tough.
Right. I think Paris Campbell will have the slot position. It will be his unless he gets hurt. I think Hyatt, I don't know yet if he overtakes Slayton early.
What about Hodgins? You just giving up on Hodgins now? I say Hodgins.
Hodgins, I think Hodgins is going to be the red zone guy. I think I love Hodgins. Hodgins, he saved our year last year. I fucking love Hodgins. He's the red zone guy because he's the only one that's got height. And then Shep. When Shep is ready to go, I'm kind of like out on Shep. I'm like, we're paying him nothing, so whatever. He knows the offense the best. He's got great rapport with Jones. I think Shep does really well on the outside. He's good in the slot.
We also have Cole Beasley,
who I love.
I mean, like, dude, like
Colin Johnson is another one.
I think Paris Campbell has to go to the outside. Like, would we have 7 slot receivers?
I think Paris Campbell gets the slot job. I think he's slated to be there.
So what are you going to do with Wendell Robinson when he comes back?
They're going to have to figure that out. At that point, a lot of dudes will be hurt, I think, honestly. I really do. Yeah, so my thing is everybody's kind of crapping on our wide receiver room, which is a lot of number 2s and 3s. Sure. Not really that alpha male. But you said it before, Jules. I think Waller's your number 1 good option. No doubt. Waller is a man amongst boys with those pass catchers. Waller, number 1 option. Saquon with the checkdowns, get him like 3 to 5 receptions there. All you need is 2 catches from Paris Campbell, a touchdown from Hodgins. Don't forget, Daniel Bellinger, they're going to run both tight end packages a lot this year. I think Kafka is stoked about it, and I think they're going to do it. They're going to do a lot of that, those packages with the 2 tight ends. All this is contingent upon is Evan Neal's progress. I think Evan Neal really, really need. I think people are talking him up. I think he's had a so-so camp. I don't think it's anything better. He's not Andrew Thomas. Everybody get that out of your heads. Andrew Thomas is an elite level. He's an elite player. Like you don't get those players often. So whenever they throw that term around for anything, for basketball, generational talent, shut the fuck up. Because that, like, you are overusing these terms. So I think Evan Neal still has a long way to go because he was the worst tackle in the league.
Just get better. Just get better. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, just get better. Hold down your fort. It's all about footwork. He's looked lean. He's big. I saw him in person. He's huge. He's a tall guy. And I think Ben Bredesen has made huge.
That's my guy.
He was pretty good last year. Ben Bredesen's pretty good. I think John Michael Schmitz. Hopefully they work out that whole dead ball snap thing. He was my favorite pick in the draft this past year. I'm hoping, I'm worried about the line. I still think the line could let us down on pass protection. I think run blocking, we'll see. But pass protection, I'm still, my worry is still there.
Jules, before you go, I just want to tell Vin that Ben Bredesen was another Dave Gettleman pick. Traded for him. Just want to
wait, I'm sorry. Let me get some rebuttal. You guys on this podcast got to stop with this Daniel stuff.
I do it on purpose now.
That's why I needed you on here tonight.
Gettleman is probably one of the worst GMs. Did he make certain decisions? Yeah, he had top picks every year, and to this day, I still think he fumbled the Saquon pick. I think he fumbled Kadarius Toney pick. He fumbled all these picks.
Jules, go ahead, Jules. I'm putting Vin on mute right now.
Can't get him.
I'll change the subject real quick. All right, one thing that I think about too is with this pass protection and everything else is that part of the reason why we went out and got Waller is because I think you're going to see a lot of Bellinger kind of like staying home and blocking. Even if it's for like a little bit like a 2-second block and then a late release type thing, you're going to see a lot of that, especially if you see like Neal struggling against a better pass rush, right? Like, and he's having a little bit of trouble off the corner. You put Bellinger on the side, and his job is just to kind of help out a little bit and then release late or run a little something into the flat. You know what I mean? I think you're going to see a lot of that as well this year, especially like in crucial downs and like, like a 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6.
Jules, did they use Bellinger as a running back for certain like red zone plays?
Maybe they put him in the backfield like a fullback or something.
Dope. It was dope. I love it. I love it. I love to see it. I love it.
I think that's where you're going to see Bellinger use that as a lot, where you're going to see him coming off of like these type of blocks and these end arounds and all this kind of shit, which is something that like would kind of benefit the Giants, where you have a guy that's capable of catching the ball too. You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden you forget about him, you have a little 3-yard dump, and all of a sudden it turns out into like a 7-8 yard gain. Those plays are going to eat up clock. I mean, the way I'm looking at this is that, I'm not trying to say Daniel Jones is Pat Mahomes or anything remotely close to that. But if you look at what Kansas City did last year and the way that they were using their receivers and then the way that, Kelsey's their focus, right? If Waller stays healthy, there's going to be Daniel Jones's focus because Kafka comes from that tree and he's going to start to fucking put that on as the vibe. You know what I mean? Like, you realize that Buffalo went out and got King Clay, right, in the fucking draft. Why? Because they're fucking tired of seeing this fucking reliable safety valve fucking eat them up, right? You watch that again. I'm gonna go back to that Netflix show because that shit was pretty good. But like, it's crazy because I'm looking at the Kansas City shit. I'm ignoring Pat Holmes as much as I can because that cocky bastard is fucking yelling all over the field with his little fucking high pitched voice. But other than that, you'll see it. It's like every time they need a quick play, Kelsey right there with a big catch, Kelsey in the end zone, Kelsey. Like, dude, they use that dude as his fucking safety blanket to the point where he starts drawing the attention of the safety and the linebacker covering him, and all of a sudden they're forgetting about it, and now Paul Holmes dumps it to fucking, one of these other guys, Juju Smith.
Jules, keep in mind though, Kansas City.
I'm keeping Kansas City in my mind.
I have Kansas City. I'm focused on Kansas City right now.
Ranked offensive line in the league. They are a top offensive.
I think you say. I think City's gonna have a little technical difficulties at the moment.
I think Vin just said Dave Gettleman
every year
GM, and he's should have been a GM every year. That's what I heard right now. That's what came out.
Kansas City,
Kansas City has fully retired.
You're gonna hear me edit out Ben, and it's just gonna be a dub of my voice. I'm like, I can't even just said that.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
Gentlemen.
He loves
the
Dave
Chiefs,
Gettleman.
Chiefs have a top 5 offensive line every year. Every line, every year. You know, so I think that's critical.
If you go through some of the top teams last year, I mean, the Eagles got one of the top 5 fucking offensive lines.
I think they're
one or two, right? If
1 or 2.
Yeah. I mean, bro, that speaks volume, right? Like, when these guys have that time, like these other professional athletes get open, they can make other quarterbacks look better than what they are. Look, is Jalen Hurts a good scrambling running quarterback? Absolutely, right? There's no question. I'm not going to sit here and try to fucking tell him that he's complete garbage. But if he has to be a pocket passer and you're putting some pressure on him, I want to see what that Jalen Hurts looks like, because we didn't see that last year. They got away with a lot of bullshit last year, these Eagles, you know? Either they were running them on the flank, or the line was giving them plenty of time, or A.J. Brown's coming across the middle wide open, or fucking, you know, what do they call it? Fucking the grim Slim Reaper, or whatever the fuck it is over there with Devonta. Still hate that he's not on our team. You might as well have had Devonta Smith and Parsons. I'm just saying, right? Just saying, because I wanted both of them on our team, right?
Get them in did that.
Out there for the Gettleman crowd, right? It's a sing right back at you there. But you know what I mean? So, like, listen,
I would have liked them too.
You know, you let the Eagles and Cowboys trade to get your receiver, really, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, just give me a break. And then
supposedly they took a call, and Gettleman wouldn't take it. Gettleman wouldn't pick up the phone.
Yeah, he's like, fuck the Eagles. I'm like, I love you, Gettleman.
Oh my God, dude! You know, it's just ridiculous. And it's just look, that's the team to beat in our division. So, like, as much as I want to poke fun of them, or I'll pull references on Jalen Hurts and, you know, the receivers and all shit, we have to, bro. That's the fucking look. That team ran the NFC last year. They ran our fucking division. They embarrassed us twice last year. Like, bro, fuck that, man. That's the team that, like, yo, man, like, you know, we might not be there yet, but, like, that's the fucking team that, like, I can't stand, bro. It just drives me nuts. And I don't know if you guys
they have the best roster in the NFL. Other than Mahomes, who Mahomes is, other than quarterback, I think they're best roster. They're just, they brought back Darius Slay and Bradbury. I thought they were gonna do away with them. They brought them both back. You saw they picked up Miles Jack and
two linebackers. Yeah, two linebackers.
They're big dudes. It's like, come on. Why couldn't we pick them up for cheap? I think they got them each for $2.5 million. Yeah. It's like, I don't know how they're doing it with the money, with the salary cap. I just don't understand.
Because they got lucky where the last couple of seasons they made a lot of fucking bullshit trades that these teams
ate up, of trades,
and they gave them all these fucking draft picks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? And, like, when you're bringing in these guys on these rookie contracts and they're working out, and you have your set core already paid, and then you got Jalen Hurts who's taking a pay cut this year, but then I think he starts getting fucking paid next season. Yeah, you still got.
Is that what Daniel Jones is doing?
Listen, their window's only maybe another 2 years. After 2 years, the Eagles are kind of done, dude. Like, they're not like. You really, like, you think DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny's really scaring anybody? How long is Scott going to keep fucking running for them? You know what I'm trying to say? Who's the other jerk off that always fucking kills us? The running back?
Is Bart Scott.
Yeah, it's Scott, right?
They're built. You're right, Jules. They're built for right now, not tomorrow.
2 Giants games.
Fuck him. Fuck that dude.
But it's true, man. Look at Dallas. Look, Dallas is. They get close. I mean, I understand they went out and got Brandon Cooks. That's a good signing as a wide receiver too. I guess that kind of picks up for, like, they're not going to really rely on the tight end as much. I know they went out and got one in the draft, but I don't think that kid's going to be ready. Their offensive line is solid. But, they're really relying on Tony Pollard.
Dude, they got Dak Prescott. They got Dak Prescott, Jules.
That's all you need to know. Prescott, like, we're going to say, well, their defense is pretty solid, but, like, their window's shrinking too with Dallas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Window's done.
I think their line is overrated too. That line is getting old. I think the Dallas line is overrated. I think they're getting old. They're not really replacing them, the way they should. They need to pay Zach Martin, right?
That's why he's trying to get money now, because he's old. Right,
yeah.
Team turmoil.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, like these windows don't last forever at this high of a level. Right, you could still keep some core guys around, like Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts could play in the Eagles for the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that combination could always be a thing. But, like, having this all-star cast where you have everybody just light up on both sides of the ball, that shit don't last forever, man. It just doesn't. A couple of key injuries, and all of a sudden that roster changes completely.
That's why teams you build the culture, because you want guys that they draft in the future to come into the culture, be part of that culture, that team. That's why I'm glad we have the coaching staff we have now. I just worry about we're going to be so successful, or you fucking coaches are going to fucking leave for jobs.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that sucks.
Sure, like, that's such a great point too, right? Like, because you hear all this hate for the Giants and how bad they are and how this and that, but yet our coordinators, after one season where we just got one playoff win and then embarrassed in the second game of the playoffs, they want still on coordinators for jobs.
Yeah. Hey, Wink. Hey, Calf. Come on by. What the fuck?
I'm willing to lose Kafka over Wink. I don't want to lose.
I couldn't
want to lose Wink.
If I had to make a choice, to make a choice.
Yeah, Wink to me just manufactures pressure and just through scheme. Like the guy, he didn't really have much to work with last year, and he kept us in games. Just I love me some Wink. You know what I mean?
He made Lamar Jackson look like a bitch.
Seriously, dude. Listen, we don't honestly. Kirk Cousins was having that type of season where he should have done. Like, he goes down the field in that opening drive and scores on us. We go down 7-0, guys. You know what I'm saying? We just came back and answered the call, and then all of a sudden we made a few adjustments. Before you know it, we were shutting them down. You know what I'm saying?
Cordell Flott had a game.
Yeah.
Adoree had a game.
Yeah, dude. Like, these guys
Jefferson cooked us in the first half, and then we shut that dude down in the second half. Jefferson did nothing. Everybody's best wide receiver, he did nothing in that playoff game.
He's a fucking beast, bro.
He's nasty. He's nasty. I think Jamar's better. I think Jamar Chase is better.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson's nasty.
He's just that dude's fucking for real. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't argue. It's like ridiculous.
Other things though, what do you guys think about our first round pick, Banks? They said he's struggling mightily in camp.
I heard back and forth.
Go back to camp, right? But yeah, Mike, you take this first, please.
I just heard like different ends of the spectrum. I just heard back and forth that he had a couple good days, a couple bad days, but then you heard Trey Hawkins is just lighting up camp on the defensive end. So what do you really believe? I'll believe it when I'm watching the games myself. I can't. You hear it's hype season every year, like even for us, Right. So I'll wait to make my judgment on at least in the preseason games when we actually get to see him go against like other competition,
No, and Mike, you kind of just took the words right out of my mouth there. It's camp, right? And honestly, I was literally going to do the same fucking comparison you just did, where it's like, okay, so DeAndre Banks is supposedly struggling and he doesn't look good at camp. And you got Trey Hawkins, who's like Trey Ball Hawkins, right? Like, dudes everywhere, making highlight plays, breaking up passes, going against top dudes and shit, and looking phenomenal. And I don't know. It's camp, it's practice. At the end of the day, you could be amazing in practice. And when it comes game time and you're under the lights, everything fucking changes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, it's just a whole fucking thing. And now you have these guys that have been looking at you all week long, and they know your little fucking tendencies, and they're looking for you to take that little step to the left that you do when you're blitzing or when you're doing that. And the whole fucking thing changes, man.
Dude,
it's great to see that Hawkins is having the camp he's having, because it just means we might have that kind of depth at corner finally. But outside of that, I don't know.
Jules, you're 100% right, bro. You freeze. Some people freeze at that moment. Like, for me, like growing up, like when I was playing basketball, I was the opposite. In practice, I was like, whatever, throw up a couple shots. But when game time came around, I was just lighting people up like crazy. Like at the park, like people just go down. It was just nuts.
Bird.
So it was definitely like that, So I feel it. Like I think a guy like Banks, maybe he's just like fucking around in practice, but when game time, he's gonna shut everybody out. Like Revis Island, like Trainer Island.
That's training Larry Bird right there.
Yeah, right. It is.
But you know what's another thing too? Sometimes, especially in these training camps, you try to do something, right? Like, you try to do more than what you should be doing, right? So like, you'll say, okay, look, what if I'm a little more aggressive on this type of, play or whatever? What does it look like? Maybe I'll try to read this. And you take these chances because no big deal. You get burned. Who cares? We can line back up and we play it again. You know what I'm saying? It's practice. Doesn't mean a fucking thing. So this is where you almost want to see that, because if it's him just, because we're an aggressive defense, and Wink's got these guys playing aggressively, and they I heard also too that Banks is a kind of rough kind of coverage guy, so he wants to get up in that receiver's face. He wants to hit him at the line of scrimmage. He wants to do shit. You're not doing that in camp. You know what I'm saying? So you're taking away one of the elements of what he likes to do to guys out of his game. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, that's what I actually read, is that Banks was kind of losing the guy on release, pretty much like on the line of scrimmage.
Right. And that's only because you're not in this
line.
this
you make up for it
Yeah, in this part of the season, you're not allowed to like. Sort of,
you lost me again.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is definitely where you edited a little bit here, Mike.
I'm not editing this. This is a work of art right now. Yeah, but I get what he was saying.
But it's true, though. You know what I mean? And that's why, listen, it's going to remain to be seen. Look, I hope all these guys work out, right? They're all on our team. They're all these young guys.
All
Hopefully,
Giants.
for a little bit. Right. Go fucking blue. Like, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Like, our whole fucking, we even joked about it. I think you mentioned, Mike, like back in like April, May or something, where you were talking about Trey Hawkins. You were like, yo, this could be a sneaky pick for us. Because that's when we started like coming up with all the stupid names and calling Trey Hawkins. Yeah, I know you pulled it out.
I did say that? Man,
yeah,
I say a lot of crazy things sometimes. Yeah, we got 2 vids.
Those lines. Oh, Vinny put his twin brother Vinny on.
We got 2 vids right now. We lost one.
I got like 15 years ago. I gotta get myself a new computer.
Yeah, he needs an upgrade.
You guys hear me?
You need to upgrade like the Giants upgraded their defense this year. I think defense is going to be pretty stacked.
Let's say they hopefully upgraded with the field, right? Oh,
what I was saying though is I think Banks. What I read was that he was losing. He was losing at the line of scrimmage. He was losing upon release, and then he would make up with his speed because he crushed it at the combine. So he would get to the ball, and he's trying to be a ball hawk, but he was losing guys from like as soon as they yelled hike. You know what I mean? And it's interesting what you just said, Jules, about him, being one of these guys that likes to get physical at the line. So I'm hoping, like you guys are alluding to, that once there's actual like real hitting going on, that
Vin is like in a bunker somewhere. He's like now he's like, I'm talking so slow. Like, where are you, Vin? Are you like on an island or some shit? Are you in a helicopter? Like, it is going in and out like you wouldn't believe. It's fucking hilarious.
He's in the bomb shelter right now. You heard that the smoke was coming back from Canada from campfires.
oh, my back
underground.
Blink if you're okay.
Am I?
Yeah.
We got Vin right now, but like, hold on, Vin. Let's take a quick commercial break on the BBO NYG podcast. We'll come right back and we'll talk more about the Giants. Be right back. All right, we are back on the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. Special guest Vin is on the show from a bunker and God knows where.
I'm very embarrassed.
You should be. I'm gonna edit this out with a lot of fart noises and shit when you start talking.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll definitely be getting a laugh. That's for sure.
The gentleman hate will get automatically fucking censored. That'll be off the fucking show. But we're gonna leave it to you, Vin. What else would you like to talk about on this episode of the mix for the BBO MYG podcast?
Any games that you guys considering going to?
I mean, see, for me, it's up in the air right now.
Me too.
Yeah, like I know I've been talking a lot about going to Buffalo, but now I have a trip planned, so like it's going to be really cutting it close if I try to do both. So that kind of might be out the window as a current moment, but then I would love to go to Sunday night's game against Dallas. Like if that's a possibility, man, I might be looking into something like that as well. Just because, like you were saying earlier, like fucking, imagine winning that game, coming out 1-0 on Sunday night. I mean, that's what I'm kind of rounding it off with, where like this is like going to be a fun football season, at least for the first couple of months of the year to start in New York, right? Because we open up the season Sunday night at home against fucking Dallas, and then Monday night is the Bills and the Jets. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Monday, like the New York just be fucking rolling, dude. Like, let's go, bro. Like, yeah, I'm excited for this season. We had one of our best years in fucking how many years? Like, we didn't have to worry about picking in the top fucking 7 picks or whatever and being the laughing stock. Like, yo, man, the fact that like some of these fucking these haters are saying that we're gonna finish last in the division when you have the fucking Commanders and Sam Howell as their fucking guy. Other than Terry McLaurin, you want to talk about number 2 receivers? McLaurin's a borderline 1. Let me just put that there. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, when you take him, and we'll speak a little fantasy on this all the time, but like, you can't tell me that you're taking Terry McLaurin as your wide receiver 1. Right? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and when you take him as your 2, you're like, it's okay. I would rather have him as my 3, you know? And like, yeah, these guys are getting all the praise, right? And listen, Antonio Gibson and fucking Ryan Robinson, I don't give a shit. Barkley's better than both of them fucking assholes. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jones is better than Sam Howell. Our defensive front could be just as good as theirs. Our secondary's better. And yet, we're going to get picked to finish behind them. What the fuck is this team?
3 teams.
Well, Vin,
3 teams in our playoffs. Yo.
I would like to go to a game this year too. If you guys don't mind me telling what game I would like to go to. I would like to go to the Seattle Seahawks game on Monday. I thought you were gonna leave me out. You know, that's the game I want to go to. What about you, Vin? What game do you want to go to this year? And fuck the Redskins.
Buffalo. I want Buffalo or Miami again.
Buffalo, Miami. That's
I like the away games. I like going away for something.
Oh, you like going to a destination game? Okay.
So wait, we play in Miami again? Yeah. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
What month of the year is that?
Probably later on, right?
I think it's Columbus.
November.
I thought it was Columbus Day weekend. Let me look. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up real quick because that's interesting. Like I said, I literally would have. I would if I went to Buffalo, I would be coming home and then getting on a plane like in 2 days. I mean,
the Buffalo game Sunday night, right?
Yeah, and it's a Sunday night. So I mean, just if you go up to Buffalo, you're not coming home on Sunday night.
No.
It's
like unless you get some crazy person that wants to drive overnight. Like, yeah, we're gonna make good time. We'll be home for breakfast.
Bills Mafia is keeping you there.
Yeah.
Yo, real. Arizona Cardinals, another dope one. Arizona, week 2.
Yeah, I
mean, that'd be a pretty cool stadium to check out too.
Early on, I wouldn't mind checking out that stadium. I've never been there. I've never been to Glendale. Like all that kind of like checks the boxes in every way. Where I would definitely be on board for something like that as far as the road.
All right, it's week 5, Sunday the 8th.
Well, October 8th
is Miami.
Still kind of early.
So I don't know.
Aren't we? No, was that
October 8th?
Right.
Is the Bills?
I'm guessing and not just looking. I'd rather torture myself and try to figure it out. But like, no, I'm supposed to know every game, every week, and everything. It's supposed to be in my brain right now. And it's it is August, guys. And like we gotta get ready for fantasy. I do a lot of these drafts, so I always throw it into this podcast. All right. So I got a lot of these players in my can't keep track of just everything right now, right?
It's a lot of shit going on.
A lot of shit going on, man.
Yeah, it's the end of summer. It's fantasy. Everything's fucking happening.
Yeah, because I thought, we're at the Cardinals. I mean, we're at the 49ers the following week.
It's a tough schedule to open up the first few games of the year, that's for sure. But I tell you, I like playing good competition.
I mean, listen, we could all go out to Vegas November fucking 5th.
I'll never come home if I go out there.
Mike's probably got a few comps out there.
It's always been bad news every time I went out there. Just bad news.
I mean, Dallas, November 12th. I mean, those are some key games right there.
Sounds fun.
Like, I don't know if I got much going on in November except for Thanksgiving, but other than that,
maybe we could hit mega billions and fucking go to every fucking road game or just travel with the Giants.
Take the year off from work. Like I quit.
What would that be?
If they go to playoffs and they're on the road, I will try my best to get there.
Take the whole family. Like, yeah, we're leaving. We're leaving the house behind. We got to go follow the Giants.
Last Green Bay, with the debacle in Green Bay, that was a great trip. Other than the game, it was a great trip. I should have been in Minnesota last year. I should have been there.
I mean, listen, I went to the opening. I went to Daniel Jones's fucking coming out party, the first game down in Tampa, where he came, and I talked shit the entire week to everyone. And I kept telling all these dudes on a bachelor party to bet on the Giants, bet on the Giants. Daniel Jones is going to show up. And I was just talking shit. And then the dude did.
And he did. Yeah, he fucking lit it up.
And he did. It was like, man, I couldn't stop talking. I was hammered by the fourth quarter, yelling at them, throwing shit at the boat. It was great.
Like, Jules is the genius. He knows football.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. Like, Daniel Jones.
All right, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, well, listen, man. Like I said, it's a fucking good start, man. We're looking good. Vin, before we cut this out, give me your prediction for record. What's the record this year?
I didn't do it game by game.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say that I think I think our division's still tough. I still think we're behind Philly and Dallas. But I think the conference is weak. I'm gonna go with. I gotta go by game by game. I think our. I'm gonna drag this out a little bit. I think our we've
The way
played
I'm dubbing this over. It's gonna
first-
say 17-0.
Hey,
What did
gentlemen.
I say?
the first 7 of 10 games are on the road. I don't like that. I think we play about 3 or 4 teams that are coming off their bye. I don't like that. The schedule is not friendly to us this year. I know we got better in a lot of areas, but I still think we have a lot of holes. Take into account our depth is better, but it's just not quite there. So I'm gonna go with, without looking at it game by game, I'm gonna say 9 wins. I think it'll be enough for us to get a wild card spot because there's 3 wild cards now. I think 3 teams come out of the division again, just because I don't really see it around the league. There will be that one surprise team in the
I don't.
NFC. You don't think 3 teams out?
I don't think Dallas or Washington comes out of that division. I think it's just the Giants and the Eagles.
You don't think?
I think Dallas. I think Dallas is going to finish dead last. Then I think it's going to be the Redskins. Then fuck the Eagles. And then it's just us. So fuck the Eagles. I can't put the Eagles in first or second. Fuck them. But I can tell you right now, Dallas is finishing last.
I hate to put so much emphasis on game 1, but if we could come out week 1 and beat the Cowboys, that's really going to set the tone. It just is. It's going to set the tone for us.
It's so close with beating Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. When it's close, it can go either way. That's just the reality, right? Like a miscommunication, a misthrow there, a bad read, a fumble, whatever. And boom, they got it. They beat us. They get out of there winning by 3, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it could happen, especially if you've been playing them that close. Because
what if they come out beating them by 3, Jules? What if they destroy them on Monday night? They come out winning by 21. What would that hype?
And I'm going in with my dick swinging for the 49ers game week 3 and being like, fuck that team.
My dick's coming out, no doubt. It's been a long winter. We're long.
It sucks to have to travel to Arizona week 2. And but they're a better team. Like you got to go handle it, right? Like there's no way that after 2 weeks the Giants are on 1-1. If we're somehow 0-2 and there's just shit going wrong and things aren't looking good for this year, right? 49ers in the 49ers is gonna be tough. We get Seattle coming back, and then Miami and Buffalo, right? So it's not like it doesn't end for us, right? It's all on the road, like you were saying. Like so that is a little tough. That's why I think you gotta beat Dallas. You gotta beat Dallas on Sunday night. You go to fucking Arizona, you beat them. If you got, if because you're going to the West Coast again, and you fall to the 49ers, fine, you're at 2-1. You come back and you handle fucking Seattle. And if you could split against Miami and Buffalo, you're heading down the right path. You know what I'm trying to say? And you're in a position where you're gonna be at 9-10 wins again this season. You know what I mean? But like I don't like this. I say I hate to put so much emphasis on week 1, game 1, but that's a huge, huge game for the New York Giants. It's a chance for us to come out, jump on them early, and take that. And I think that's really going to determine what I really think our win total would be for the year. But that's me. Right. I know Glenn's been having a little trouble with his phone. I know you're going to hear myself and Mike do a million other fucking predictions for records. So, yeah.
17-0.
Yeah. Mike's going to be 17-0.
I won't change.
He might get a little realistic and make it like 13-4. One of those
things. I like the realistic 13-4. That's not bad because the refs always will fix some games. So
17 every year.
I usually go with 13-3, but now it's like 13-4 because I always say referees, they'll rig the games where the Giants lose because there's some games the Giants are always favored, and for some reason the refs just give them a bad call and they end up losing. So I'm gonna give that's the record, 13-4.
Well, we are favored for this Friday preseason game going into Detroit. Just throwing that out there. They're at -3.
-3.
Just really quickly for everybody who's listening, please. Even if you don't bet, just don't bet preseason. Just don't do that. All right, like
silly.
First thing you could bet on, all right? Old timers will tell you just go to a casino and gamble that money there instead. All right, you're better off. All right, that's just the way that does. But it is funny to see that we're a 3-point favorite going into Detroit. So as much as all these fucking these USA Todays and all this type of shit want to hate on us and put us down for the division, you know what? Vegas fucking might still be believing in us. It's gonna be curious to see what they do in a couple of weeks when we gotta fucking put up the lines for the Cowboys.
Yep.
But listen, Vin, I love the fucking picture that you got going on. If you're watching on YouTube, he's been having a lot of trouble. He had a picture right there. It looked like it was his class picture from high school or something. But with that said, we definitely thank Vin for coming on. Look at him. He's got the look. Thanks, Vin.
He needs like a little quote underneath there, say dream big, a little yearbook quote. See you next summer.
I will get
That's definitely where you put in I love David Gettleman.
I love DG.
He's God's gift.
Thanks, Vin.
Well, listen, we thank everybody. Like and subscribe. You know where to find us. Listen to Chad Powers at BBONYG.
I got more hate for Jerry Reese.
There you go. He stuck that one and he hates Jerry Reese more. All right. But definitely follow us. We'll be back on next week for sure. We're going to recap the preseason game, give a little take on that and what's going on in training camp and the latest. But until then, be safe and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace. Go down.